One of the things Luigi and I really like to do is if there are people showing up at conventions that are normally known for specific things, but we happen to really like them for
this other thing.
Some random other thing.
Yeah. We have very niche interests.
We like to go have them sign something from that.
We want to show them the appreciation that they deserve.
For example, one of the celebrities that was there was Sarah Joy Brown, who was there because of her involvement in one of those 90s Power Ranger style shows. It was called VR Troopers.
And she played Caitlin Starr.
But she's also very revered in the world of soap operas. She was the original Carly on General Hospital back in the 90s. But my personal favorite thing she has done was a 6-month stint on the soap opera As the World Turns back in 2004, where she played Julia number 2.
Wow.
The super couple of Carly and Jack, who I love. I have Carjack magnet on the fridge. I have a Carjack best of DVD set. Well, in true soap opera fashion, Jack went off a bridge and died, but it turns out he was actually alive with amnesia, and when Carly found him, he was married to Julia.
Jack loves us, and as long as he wants us...
He doesn't know what he wants!
And they call her Julia number 2 because Jack's first wife was also named Julia. Anyways, I had her sign this, which I couldn't even find like a professional photo or high quality still from this because it was so long ago and it was such a short storyline. I had to make this myself.
She was so nice though. She was like...
Yeah, oh, no, she said... She actually took a picture of this and said she was gonna text it to Maura West, who played Carly, which... I cleaned out.
Yeah, and she said, should I write Carly sucks? One of the huge gay gasps for me when I looked at the website for Pasadena Comic-Con is Catherine Cavadini, who you may know as Bubbles from Powerpuff Girls. I know her as Clash from Gem and the Hologram. And we got her to sign this production line drawing.
Where does that accent come from?
Drawing.
Yeah.
Bananas and pajamas.
She signed a quote, right?
Yeah, she says, I'm the 5th misfit.
But I want to be the 5th misfit. We hardly need 4.
She was never the 5th misfit. They would never let her in.
Yeah. Because she can't play any instrument. She only plays those cymbals on her.
Speaking of Powerpuff Girls, the voice of Buttercup was there, E.G. Daily.
Also the voice of Tommy Pickles.
Which I grew up watching Rugrats, so Tommy Pickles, you know, that's my childhood right there. But what I really love E.G. Daily for is her 80s music. I think this is more known now. But I remember it being like almost like a secret, maybe even like 10 years ago, that the voice of Tommy Pickles actually had a music career in the 80s.
Yeah, I knew she could sing because she was Phoebe's friend who stole Smelly Cat.
No, I don't want to forget it.
Okay, you can have Smelly Cat, but we won't be partners. So what's it gonna be?
Smelly cat, smelly cat.
Right! Yeah. Trust me, you know her music from the 80s. She had a song in the movie The Breakfast Club. She had a song in Better Off Dead. And I think it was her first single was Say It, Say It.
If you want my love, say it, say it. Gotta let it out. Say it, yeah.
And when I was in the Philippines, if you watched our last video where we talked about going to the malls in the Philippines, there's a section of Green Hills called V Mall, and there they had a record shop, and I found a 45 single of Say It, Say It.
Tell me.
If you haven't listened to her music, I highly recommend checking it out. It is so good.
This, in particular, is a bop.
Say what you feel.
Bop.
If you want my love, say it.
We also met Lori Beth Denberg,
People who live in glass houses should always wear pants.
Vital information for your everyday life.
who all of you may know from All That, but I know her more for... No, I know from All That.
What if she had like some series only that was like only released in Quebec and it was like a real dramatic series about like...
It would be on brand for me. Speaking of Canadian shows, I knew that she was a guest on a really popular Degrassi rewatch podcast, and she made a post that because she's watching like new Degrassi and all she knows is old Degrassi, she made a commitment to watch Degrassi from episode 1 of junior high in the 80s to her episode then.
Was she on Degrassi for an episode?
No.
Oh.
No, they just wanted vital information on Degrassi. So then I asked her if she ever wanted to do like a Degrassi rewatch podcast on her own, and she said Dawson's Creek is like one that she rewatched from start to finish, and I said I will be the first to listen to a Lori Beth podcast where she gives vital information on Dawson's Creek.
If that sounds like a good idea, put it out there, guys.
Put it out there. Let her know.
Let her know that you want this.
Yeah.
2 days before
Yeah.
the actual event, Bai Ling was added to the show. Bai Ling is known for playing these really outlandish, kooky characters.
Crank 2,
Wild Wild West,
The Crow.
Southland Tales.
Yeah.
Can you guess what I love her for?
When you walk down the road.
Real quickly, I feel like I should explain, because whenever someone finds out that I am a fan of the show Touched by an Angel, they are very taken aback. Because I am many things, but religious is not one of them. I have absolutely no belief system. I don't even identify as atheist because that's too much of a belief system. But I genuinely enjoy the show Touched by an Angel. And I think the reason why is, for someone who's never watched the show, they assume it's kind of like one of those God's Not Dead films where it's very preachy. The films have more of an agenda than anything else. That's not Touched by an Angel. Sometimes they go a little overboard and I don't like those episodes, but 9 times out of 10, it's literally just angels helping people going through something.
Yeah.
One episode had Bai Ling. This is what they called in the 80s and 90s a very special episode. It was 2 parts. It was a very heavy plot.
In certain broadcasts, there would be an intro from Bai Ling's former co-star, Richard Gere, about the crisis in
China.
Crisis in China at that point.
We owe it to all of our brothers and sisters to respond whenever, wherever it's needed. This episode of Touched by an Angel is about one man who did.
This is one of the heaviest episodes I have ever seen of like any TV show. Basically, Bai Ling is a refugee from China. If she ever steps foot in China again, it's sure that she's gonna die, but she left her daughter behind. So she goes back to China and she ends up becoming a political prisoner. Literally, I'm not ashamed to admit this, crying by the end.
Am I going to die?
Crying. So I tried to rush deliver a copy and it did not arrive on time, unfortunately. It arrived the very next day after the convention. So having to think quick on my feet, I just found a picture of it online, printed it out, had her sign it, and I'll put it like, I don't know, I'll slide, I don't know. I will say I could tell she was genuinely happy that I liked this performance from her because, again, she is a kooky person. Not gonna lie. She is what they call eccentric.
Yeah.
But
she is a gifted thespian,
yes,
this woman.
She can act.
Yeah.
And I could tell she lit up when I was telling her that I liked this because of her performance. And she was like, well, if you like this, you should check out my film, what was it?
Red Corner with
Richard Gere.
Richard Gere. Watch Red Corner, watch Dumpling.
Yes, I've seen Dumpling.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oh, and then I told her I've been meaning to show him Anna and the King, and she was like, oh.
If you're a fan of Bai Ling and you love seeing her be kooky, check out her dramatic roles. She's so good.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't record any of my interactions with the celebrities because A, you're technically not supposed to.
Yeah.
But also I've seen videos where people do that at conventions, and I can tell that it really alters the authenticity of the interaction.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm going to spend money to talk to these people, I want it to be worth my while. And I think if I had a camera on them, it would change it.
Yeah.
So I do get photos, but the actual interaction I want to keep between me and the person.
Yeah.
Should we discuss merch?
Okay. She's an icon. She's a legend. And she is the moment. While my older sister was the one who got the Rainbow Bright cake and the Rainbow Bright dolls, I was the one who secretly wanted them. And I couldn't say anything about it. It was a different time. So now that I can afford my own stuff,
He's making up for lost time.
making up for lost time. And this one, she was my favorite. She was the orange one. She was she was the most fabulous one because she, like, check out that slit. Like, she's red carpet ready. She's like Angelina at the Oscars. And she's got this sassy little beret and her orange Sprite. And her name is Lala Orange, which I think is a play on Coco Chanel. Lala Orange. She's going on the shelf. She's
I was not planning on buying merch because my money was going towards the autographs and photos, but I happened to have walked past a booth and I saw this book and I was like, are you kidding me? It's a book about Silence of the Hams. Which, the fact that a book exists about this, a pictorial memoir of the making of a cult classic. If you have not seen Silence of the Hams, I'm assuming you can guess by the name. It's one of those, like, scary movie style films making fun of Silence of the Lambs, starring Dom DeLuise.
Brains were my specialty, you know. Brains with...
About with fava beans?
If I had fava beans, I'd be free. I'd blow that back wall right out.
Oddly enough, it more makes fun of the movie Psycho.
Your boss just closed one humongous deal.
For $400,000.
Now you want me to marry you knowing I just got a divorce.
This was like one of my favorite comedies as a kid. I watched this on loop when I was a little kid, and I didn't know anybody else who had ever seen this movie.
Billy Zane's in it.
John Astin's in it. I mean, Shelley Winters, for God's sakes. Rip Taylor.
Phyllis Diller.
That's right. Which we heard some goss. I hope it's in the book, but apparently, like, some of the people involved didn't know who Phyllis Diller was, so they were like, well, why would we hire this person? And they spent like 10 minutes with Phyllis Diller and like, yep, she's in the film. It's made by the casting director of the film. He signed it for me. Now, it's really funny and shows my lack of networking skills. I didn't pay attention to the name, and I'm terrible with faces. I have worked for this guy before. I was a PA on a film he did many years ago. And here I am talking to him, having a full-on conversation, getting his autograph, and it wasn't until I got home that night that I was like, oh, I know him! So that was our experience at Pasadena Comic-Con. When we go to these conventions, we always have such a great time, and we love getting together with friends and telling our story. So this time I was like, let's just record it so that it's captured forever.
And if you're loving this banter, We also have a podcast based on a Filipino telenovela, the first gay Filipino telenovela.
My Husband's Lover.
You don't have to be a fan of telenovelas.
Yeah, we actually have listeners who have never watched the show and still haven't, but they listen for the banter, which I was honestly not expecting.
Is the logic here just because it's slow-mo signals that it's a heart-wrenching moment?
You know, babe, I'm starting to think you don't like this show.
If it were me and I'm like putting ice into the juice, I would drop the ice not in the juice.
Babe, his heart's broken. Who cares where the ice went? You're caring about the wrong stuff.
Come for the insights and over-analysis of the telenovela. Stay for the banter between two husbands.
And with that, I will say until next time, or as you want me to say on the podcast, paalam po.